Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Adi, and today I have an incredible Players' Cup team report, and I'm joined with a special guest, Fukus. How are you doing?
Hey, what's up? I am good right now. I just finished the top 16 of my region yesterday. So, yeah.
Yeah, and you had an incredible run. You got all the way to top six in Latin America.
Mm,
But
yeah.
first, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and your background?
Sure. I started playing VGC around, like, very casually around 2015, uh, back here in Peru. And but I wouldn't go to any tournaments. I would just play online or just make fun teams, I guess. But then No, actually, I'm lying. I started playing around 2013, but it was, as I said, very casual. But then I stopped
Mhm.
playing until 2016. I was living in USA because I was studying there, and I started playing with. I found a couple of friends that liked Pokemon too, so we started playing VGC, and we went to a couple of tournaments, and I started like taking it more seriously. And so yeah, I've been playing since 2016. I haven't. It's not like I've been to a lot of tournaments IRL. Like, to be honest, it's because I never had, like, you have to travel a lot for that. You have to,
Mhm.
unless I would go to any tournament that was in my region, which was California, but even then, that was not that many. So now with the pandemic, I had to go back to Peru, and and everything was online now. So it was a bit easier for me to, like, compete in all of these tournaments. And yeah, like, I've been, like, I didn't have a lot of things to do, so I was grinding very hard. This form, not this form in particular, like this game, like Sword and Shield.
Mhm. Yeah,
And yeah, I've been doing very decent this past year, I think.
Yeah, I've seen you in Top Cut in a lot of online grassroots tournaments. I think I've probably played you in
Mm.
one or two because I've played a lot of these too.
Yeah, maybe.
And so yeah, it's been that's I think one of the great things about having all these online tournaments is it's just so much more accessible. I've seen so many players who don't have the opportunity to really grind out events and make the world championships by going to 4 or 5 regionals a year, get to play in these really high profile online tournaments and make a name for yourself. And that's exactly what you did here, getting all the way to top six in LATAM with a
Yeah.
really cool team. So here is you went 7-2 in Swiss. You made it
Hmm.
all the way to top six. Yeah, and so here is the team that you used.
Hmm.
Really, really cool team, very unique, and I'm really excited to hear all about how it works. But first, can you tell me how did you build this? This is so unique. How did you come across this concept?
Okay. First off, the Thundurus. I've been using Thundurus T since season 7, was it? Like, this is season 7, right? Like, it's the same
Yeah.
7, yeah, since that started. Because I, like, look, Regieleki, it's extremely strong, and this kind of team is very, like, you need to have speed control, like, because otherwise everyone just dies. And with Aleki spamming, like, if Aleki is Sash and it spams Electro Web all the time, you basically lose speed control on the second turn, or you're back at normal. So
Hmm.
having both Mamoswine and Thundurus, you have two mons on your team that are immune to Regieleki. So, and Regieleki usually, like, they bring it sometimes, but most of the time they don't, just because, like, that half of their team, you're not going to do anything to them. So yeah.
Right.
And also I have Lele, because Rillaboom doesn't care about speed. He just grassy glides, even in Trick Room or whatever. So Lele counters, helps to counter Rillaboom. And I was playing Sarina before Lele, but there's I don't know. I like Lele better because it does very well against Sun as well.
Hmm.
Um, what else? I mean, I have the Spectre. This team was actually, it had Cinderace before the Spectre. Actually, I had it like that days before the PC, the days before submitting my team. I mean, but I would have an awful match against Colossal, because like Mamoswine is not really a counter for Colossal, because even under Tailwind it doesn't have speed, and Colossal just one shots it with Max Flare. Urshifu, even if it's banded, it's not gonna really kill it. So I had to have, because everyone knows that Colossal is everywhere on every PC, and I had to have a counter for it. And Spectre one shots it with Mat Shot. Yeah, I was not. It's funny because like the last 3 PCs, I put a lot of effort into them, and I didn't do that well. I didn't do that bad either, but I just didn't. And for this one, I was very zero motivation, because I was like, I didn't like this format that much, honestly. And and I was like, I guess I have, because I qualified, so I was like, I guess I have to play, But I still tried, and I guess the right mindset is to not care. Yeah,
especially in a format like this, I feel like it's so hard to cover everything. And so my philosophy was find a team that you're comfortable with, that you enjoy playing, so you don't like have to play 9 rounds with a team that you don't like. And then just trust that you'll either face good matchups or be able to outplay your opponents in neutral matchups. Or if you face bad matchups, especially with a team as unusual, as like unorthodox as this, where people won't know, they won't have game plans against this team going into it. Even if your game plans aren't as sophisticated, as perfect, you can still find ways to win, just because your opponent is going to be really uncomfortable. And so that's, I think, how I've seen a few different teams in this format operate. And this team seems like it's no exception. It's just very powerful. Your opponent has to make every turn correct, or else they're just going to get overpowered, even if it is a favorable matchup for them.
Yeah. Like there's a lot of teams that, like, you can see them on the top cuts. There's a lot of teams that literally every single Mon would die to Mamoswine. Or like they have Incineroar, they have Whimsicott, they have Regieleki, they have Rillaboom, they have Dragapult. I don't know, like for some reason Mamoswine is very good in this format, as long as you protect it, because it's just also very frail and not that fast. And also Thundurus, a lot of teams, believe it or not, they struggle a lot against Landorus, like Thundurus, I mean. Like Moltres, it's very good against it. Even if he has the Berserk boost and weakness policy +2, it doesn't kill because of the vest. What else? Regieleki, already said it. He has... Okay, so the Thundurus, the moveset, he has Sludge Bomb, because first to have something to hit fairy types, and Rillaboom, most importantly. Hyper Beam to have speed control. I have used it a lot. Hyper Beam is actually, because I mean it doesn't get any max airstream attack. Like it doesn't have air slash, or I mean I could do fly, but max airstream, Hyper Beam still deals more damage. And Dark Pulse to be able to compete against Dragapult as well.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed is that first off, electric types are really important in this format, because everything is trying to click max airstream. Like that's the entire format. You got Celesteela, you got Moltres,
you need to.
Landorus. You obviously can't hit that, but everything is clicking airstream, and so electric types are really valuable. And then the only electric type that really exists is Regieleki, and so people are game planning with their max airstream Pokemon, and then they have their answer to Regieleki. And if you have an electric type that isn't Regieleki that fits cohesively into your game plan, you're going to catch a lot of people off guard. And I think that's what the Thundurus-Therian does.
Yeah, I like electric types are amazing on Dynamax formats, I think. And for example, like I've been using back from Series 1 to 5, I think, I've been using Jolteon, which was a Thundurus kind of like, I mean, it's not the same at all, but it has Volt Absorb, and back then the only electric types were Rotom, basically. Like you can check, no one would use any other electric type. Like and Jolteon was fast and has decent special attack, and that catches people off guard because, as you said, everything has max airstream. So it's like some people don't even run Whimsicott because they have max airstream, you know, like they can, that's their speed control. And if you take that away, like what do you have? Like, yeah, so this team has to have the advantage when it comes to speed control. Like otherwise it just loses.
Yeah, I really like that choice. It's a really cool anti-meta pick. And can you tell me about some of the other Pokemon and maybe why you chose the movesets you did?
Yeah, for sure. Mamoswine, I mean, I think that's the normal moveset. Icicle Crash, high horsepower, protect. I didn't have Earthquake. High horsepower deals more damage. I only have one flying type, so that seemed fine. And Ice Shard, I have never melt ice on Mamoswine because with Ice Shard, it one-shots Landers. And I believe I did the calcs, and depending on the HP, if it doesn't have never melt ice, it doesn't one-shot. And now it does. And well, the main attack it uses, even if it maxes, is the ice attack for flying types and other things. Whimsicott, well, Tailwind, Moonblast, Taunt, and Protect. Yeah, I mean, that's every Whimsicott.
Well, why did you opt for Protect? I've seen a lot of them run Helping Hand instead.
Yeah, but personally, I've always, like, since Season 1, I've always run Protect on Whimsicott because, like, because that ensures you get Tailwind next turn, you know, or well, if they play around it, I guess they can outplay you. But in my opinion, it's very important to have Protect on a Whimsicott if you want to get that speed control, and I need it, so I cannot just risk a fake out and airstream on my Whimsicott and die, you know.
Sure, that makes
but
sense.
yeah, if I was gonna run Helping Hand, I would probably take Taunt away, but not Protect. Definitely not Protect. The Urshifu, it looks standard Urshifu until you get to the last part, Beat Up. And no, it's not a troll. So first I started playing this Urshifu on another team that was also hyper offense. That had Cortana, Urshifu, and Cinderace, I believe. And Beat Up works better on that kind of team because, I mean, you know, Beat Up takes the attack of your opponent. And okay, so the reason I have Beat Up is because this team is very frail against Trick Room, and I usually, like, I need to get around, like, and everyone. How do you set Trick Room? You set with a Follow Me and Trick Room. You know, Fake Out is not an option because I have a Lele, so it has to be that way. And the only way I could kill Indeedee with Sash was with Beat Up. But at the same time, I need Lele, Urshifu, Mamoswine, and it depends on the spread of the Indeedee. Usually when they run it with Sash, they put a bit of, like, investment also on either special attack or special defense. And if that's the case, it just one shots, like Beat Up. I mean, it doesn't one shot, like, it kills. But if it's full HP, like bold, full defense, full HP, Sash, it's a bit of a roll, but it can still kill. And that was my answer to Trick Room, basically, to get around the Sash. And also, whenever there's the classic Spectre, Metagross, I didn't see any of them, by the way, but usually they have a Spectre with Sash, so it can bulldoze and kill and activate the weakness policy on the Metagross. And with Beat Up, you just kill the Spectre before it does that, with Tailwind, of course.
That is such a cool tech. I also ran Choice Band Urshifu in Players Cup, and I just didn't know what to run in the 4th move slot because I never got to click that move. And so Beat Up is a really cool choice. And I definitely lost my Indeedee to a semi-Sash Indeedee to a Beat Up Urshifu on ladder once or twice. And so that's really cool. I really like that.
Yeah, and like Poison Jab, before, like, Poison Jab would be to basically to hit, or U-turn, I guess, to hit, what's the name, Tapu Fini. But this team is not that good against Tapu Fini except for the Thundurus, but I realized that for some reason it was not that popular right before the PC started. So I rolled with it, and I might have seen a couple, but barely, honestly. And I have Thundurus, so it kind of works. The Lele, it has Protect, Moonblast, Psychic, and Taunt. So the Urshifu kills as I said, the Indeedee, and Lele taunts the Trick Room, basically. And that's how it works. But like if they have like a very like this team is not that good against like hardcore Trick Room. Like I mean, right now, the Indeedee Dust Clubs or Porygon, that's like a usual setup, you know. But there is some setups that are like kind of like they're literally, their plan is to Trick Room and go nuts. Like they have a Fake Out, they have a Taunt Mon that will taunt your taunter, you know, like if they have that kind of team, like a hard Trick Room team, like every single Mon has a mission that is to set the Trick Room up and just go for it. Like Hatterene, you cannot taunt it. I'd probably lose against that kind of team, but I didn't see that many Trick Room teams as well. I only saw, I think I faced a couple of them, but didn't really see a lot of them. For some reason, it wasn't that popular as well.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people who would normally run Indeedee Hatterene Pivot 2, leading Indeedee Porygon 2 or Indeedee Stack Attacka, and this works a lot better into those.
Like my team is not that good against Indeedee Hatterene, but in case, but like I honestly, when I was playing online, I didn't see a single Hatterene, but I know it's there. But like I just had to take my chance, I guess. I didn't find any. You can have the perfect team, you know.
Exactly.
And then Spectre, Shadow Ball, Hyper Matcha, and yeah, I think that's the normal set, like the classic one. Hyper Beam, it's very important for speed control again. Like sometimes you won't even bring Whimsicott, depending on the team. Like just with Thundurus and Spectre, Hyper Beam, you can as well. It depends on what they have or not. But yeah, I mean it's pretty, as you can see, it's pretty straightforward. Like there's no special EV spreads. The only one I guess I could have made a bit different would be Lele. I could have made it with enough speed to outspeed a Landorus, but like 95 is such a common like speed tier. So like what if I found like another Lele, or I don't know, an R, or
right, Indeedee Male, Articuno, Jinx. There's a lot of things that
like
hit that 95.
In case you find one of those and it's a speed tie, why not, you know? And I put full special attack because like it does, as I said, it does very good against Sun. Like it one shots Venusaur. Well, depending on how the Venusaur is invested, but it usually can one shot Venusaurs. So usually when they see a Lele, so Lele is actually amazing against Trick Room because like you lead it, Lele can either taunt the Trick Roomer, or well he threatens the Venusaur or even the Torkoal, because Torkoal has very awful special defense. And yeah, I mean that's basically my team.
Yeah, I love it. It's go fast, hit hard, and it works really cohesively. It's got some really cool picks, like Thundurus, Mamoswine are very good into the metagame right now, and so I really like the choices that you made. Can you talk me through some of the common game plans against teams that you might normally face?
Usually, like for example, as I was saying, like against Sun, Trick Room, they have Venusaur, Torkoal, I know Porygon, and another couple of slow mons, I guess. I would run Lele, and if they don't have a follow me, I run Lele Whimsicott. Because in case they lead Torkoal Venusaur, I can just I can outspeed the Venusaur after the Tailwind. But if they do have a follow me, I usually lead whoever kills the follow me. Or like if it's a Togekiss, like lead Thundurus, so we can kill it, or Urshifu, so we can kill the Indeedee, Lele. And they usually lead Porygon and Venusaur for those matches, because they have two choices. They can either switch the Venusaur for something else, or switch the Porygon for a Torkoal, and it outspeeds you and it kills you. And that's just mind games. I mean, like I don't like playing against Sun really, but I don't think anyone does. But
yeah,
you just did it, I guess. What other common team like Colossal? I feel like this team has a very good matchup against Colossal, which is funny because it didn't before because it had a Cinderace. But yeah, I feel like I mean the standard Colossal team which would be like Urshifu, Colossal, Dragapult, Rillaboom, Incineroar, and a flying type, which is either Togekiss or Moltres. I usually lead against those Mamoswine and Whimsicott. So like if they lead Dragapult, Colossal, Mamoswine threatens both automatically. If they lead Urshifu, Colossal, and that's a bit of mind games, because if the Urshifu goes for the attack on the Mamoswine instead of Aqua Jet, and I go Ice Shard Urshifu plus Moonblast of the Whimsicott, I kill the Urshifu before it even attacks. But and I usually have Spectre on the back in case Mamoswine dies, and I can just kill the Colossal under Tailwind with Spectre and Lele because of Rillaboom. Yeah, I mean I personally like the matchup against Colossal. Sadly, I only got to play against one. I mean, I won't, but still, I was expecting to play against more of them. But yeah, which other common team there is?
So I've seen like the Prankster Thundurus teams with either Landorus and Kartana or Garchomp and Kartana, or the Prankster Thundurus teams with Blastoise that like Bevzy and Marcus used.
Yeah, no. I'm a big fan of those Blastoise. Blastoise is actually my favorite Pokemon, and I never got to try it. I mean, I was trying it like a week ago after I saw the results to see how it was, but no, there was not a single Blastoise team on Latin America, but there was a lot of them on Europe. And also NA, I think there was some of them.
I think there was one in NA. There wasn't that many.
Yeah, it's like they just discovered the strategy and they were like going wild because 5 Blastoise made it right to the.
Well, Bevzy was talking about this on his stream on his YouTube channel for like the last 3 weeks, and no one was paying attention to him, or like 3 weeks before Players Cup. But he proved that this was like a really, really strong strategy.
It is, yeah. I was playing Blastoise because even if they have a Rillaboom or Regieleki, that's the problem with water types right now because Rillaboom and Regieleki are everywhere and they just die to them. But Blastoise, it's very bulky, and it can take hits. And it's the same as Colossal. Sometimes all you need is to throw rocks and die, but that damage that deals every turn, it's enough to make it worth it. Same as Blastoise.
Yeah, and so my philosophy is that there's 2 types of teams. There's teams that are trying to trade damage, and there's teams that are trying to trade KOs. And this team that you're using is, of course, a team that really wants to trade KOs. It doesn't matter, really, if your Mamoswine is at 100% health or 10% health. It's dying all the same to most attacks. And so it's okay if you're taking 1/6 damage per turn. That's not really impacting the way you play. But against a more defensive team, that's absolutely game-breaking.
Exactly. If it's like one of like a Trick Room team, like a Porygon team, I don't know, like a Incineroar or Porygon, that damage they take every turn, that actually hurts a lot. But on this team, it doesn't make a lot of it does if like eventually, but the plan is to kill them before you die. So, so yeah.
Yeah, and then the other team that comes to mind as like a common meta threat is the either the Regieleki Gothitelle teams or like the Regieleki Garchomp Celesteela teams that are really common.
the Gothic. I haven't faced any Gothitelle, I believe.
Mhm.
It's gonna be broken on this new format, but
True.
but in the other core you just said, yes, I did face it, and I think I have a very good matchup against them. Regieleki, Celesteela, and Garchomp. I usually would max Thundurus against that, and I mean the only threat Thundurus has is usually Garchomp, and I have Mamoswine that can one shot it. I mean, it
Mhm.
doesn't one shot it if it's max. I mean, if I'm not max, I mean, but still, it is a lot of damage. So, um, you know, and Urshifu as well against Garchomp as well. But yeah, I did face a team that had that. Actually, yeah, actually, I think it was my last round. It was round nine, right?
Mhm.
There were 9 rounds. Yeah, and I won the first one, lost the second one, and he won the third one. But I feel like I could have won it. I should have won it, but I was just so tired, and I was already in. Like I knew that even if I lost, I was gonna make it. It's not like I threw, but I was just. I feel like I wasn't making the right plays, and yeah, I loved because it was such a long day. It was from
Yeah.
like 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. or something like that. Yeah, it's very tiring.
Yeah, definitely. Both times that I got to top 6 in Players Cup, I basically had to. I mean, I played 4 rounds in the first week. It was really easy. It was not
Yeah,
that long, and this is totally different. This is really a endurance test, in more like an internet than
it is.
anything else.
Like I remember what was the team? Wolf and A Driver. I believe they did a big tournament like a year ago or something. Like Pepsi
Yeah,
won it, I think.
mhm,
The
the Champions Cup.
Yeah, yeah, and I only had to win my last game, but I swear to God, I was so tired. And I would have made it to day 2, which was like top 16 or something.
Mhm.
But I was so tired. I was just clicking buttons. It's as you said, like it's an endurance contest, and if you if you're tired, you're just gonna lose.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That's something that we're all going to have to get used to as real life. Whenever real life events start up, and we have to go to those 9 round regionals, it's
Yeah,
going to be
those are
real similar.
tiring as well. Yeah, yeah.
But yeah. So I guess, can you tell me about some of the strengths of the team and some of the weaker matchups your team has?
Okay, so yeah, as I said, you want to have speed control. You have to have speed control, otherwise you just die to
Hmm.
anything. Um, as I said, weakness, a very hard trick room team, or a combination that I cannot deal with. Like they have a they have a Togekiss and a Dusclops and the Togekiss has what's the name of the berry that
Awaken?
yeah, the electric one, yeah, yeah, and I cannot kill the Togekiss. uh well then I mean it's not like they just win, but it's very hard. I gotta play every turn right basically then, because I gotta survive the 5 turns of Trick Room and play around it and blah blah blah. But yeah, but as I said, there was not that many Trick Room teams, unfortunately, and it's not like I automatically lose against all of them. As I said, only a certain combinations. Like for example, it's not just Lele that taunts. Like Urshifu, banned Urshifu usually one shots Porygon too as well,
Hmm.
or Dusclops. I mean, unless Dusclops is full HP and full defense and bold, and even then he has a percentage. You can one shot it. It's a roll. And same as Porygon. No, Porygon has more chance of surviving, but again, it has to be bold and HP.
Yeah.
So it's not like Lele is my only answer for Trick Room. Also, Whimsicott has it. You just play around it, honestly. But yeah, that's and I did face a few Trick Room teams, I believe. Uh, Another strength of this team. I mean, I kind of feel like it covers most of the meta, honestly, like of the popular mons. As I said, Thundurus and Mamoswine, they kind of kill Eleki just by existing.
Hmm.
There have been games that I literally have killed all of their mons, and just left the Eleki alive. And I just yeah, they just lose because Regieleki doesn't do anything. If the team is extremely bulky, like like Grimmsnarl plus I don't know Porygon, and a lot of bulky mons, like if they out defense your offense basically, yeah, those teams are kind of tough, but still not necessarily a losing matchup, but that's also like a very very extremely defensive team.
Yeah, and those were common at the end of Series 7, and then they've slowly like decreased in popularity as teams got more aggressive, and
Yeah.
that really allowed you to, like, at least for me, again, I ran something. I also I ran in DD Drifblim in Players Cup, also a very aggressive team, and I felt like I had the opportunity to do that because teams got less bulky over the course of Series 9.
It depends on the whatever people are using at the moment, but yeah, it was as you said, there was not that many trick rooms.
There wasn't that many Tapu Fini, which is another bulky Pokemon.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so yeah, so that's a great recap of the team. Were there any highlight games of the tournament that you wanted to talk about?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I have a very bad memory, and that happened 2 weeks ago. So, I played against this Felipe. Yeah, on my number 8 match, I think. Like, and yeah, I won that one because, as I said, I think I have a very good matchup against Colossal. I'm sorry, I have a very I don't really
No, you're
remember
good. It really has been 2 weeks. It was really weird that they gave us that long a gap, but
yeah, it's usually 1 week. Yeah,
it's usually 1 week, but it is what it is. You had a lot of time to prepare, and you did quite well. And so, thank you so much for coming on. Congratulations on your Players Cup run. This is, again, such a cool team. I'm really glad that I got to hear all about it and that we got to share this with everyone. Did you have any final words or shout outs that you wanted to give?
I mean, follow me on Twitter, I guess. It's Focus.
It'll be linked in the description.
Yeah, sure. Focus1, and yeah, that's about it. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Of course. Well, thank you again. Thank you so much for coming on, and until next time, I will see you all later.